Wisconsin is making my heart sing.
The 2016 4W Summit on Women, Gender, and Well-Being was a wonderful celebration of work that's being done at the University of Wisconsin and throughout our state. The UW-Madison 4W Initiative, Women, Well-Being, Wisconsin, and the World, has embarked on an ambitious interdisciplinary action research agenda with the aim of making life better for women and making the world better for all. Their work merges in this first 4W Summit on Women, Gender, and Well-Being. This year's presentations bring together excellence in scholarship and practice from around the region and address a range of local and global challenges to women's well-being.
We are envisioning this inaugural 4W Summit. This embodies what 4W stands for.
And it's hard to imagine a better place to talk about 4W and this type of work than here at the University of Wisconsin.
Speakers included Donna Shalala, former UW-Madison Chancellor and the current president of the Clinton Foundation.
Making life better for women and making the world better for all is obviously something all of us are committed to. 4W extends the Wisconsin ideas to the boundaries of the world. When we talk about liberating women and giving them opportunity, remembering that they can't be free unless they have reproductive health and they have access to things like wells in their community, and access to education is very important.
As well as international humanitarian and scholar Dr. Tara Trent.
I talk education, I breathe education, because I know without education, and women, when they don't have education, they are doomed for life.
Dr. Trent is an internationally recognized voice for quality education and women's empowerment. She grew up in a cattle-herding family in rural Zimbabwe and always dreamed of getting an education. Tararai determinedly taught herself to read and write from her brother's school books. She's become a world-renowned scholar, leading the global charge in the fight for quality education for all children.
We can talk about these statistics. They mean nothing unless we take that move, unless we become the movers and shakers, unless we recognize that we need more women in power.
We also had Latina leaders Dr. Maria Cotera, Dr. Andrea Tess Arenas, and filmmaker Linda Garcia Merchant, who discussed their efforts to recover the histories of Chicana and Latina activists.
Maria Morales of Racine, Wisconsin, one of 45 Chicana Latina activists interviewed in the state of Wisconsin by the Chicano Studies students enrolled in my courses over a 4.5-year period. Maria, in her 70s, had no less than 12 boxes of archives, and we were able to go through 3 of them. And every time we found something, there was another story she could give us about that. So we just set up the camera and said, tape everything and don't swear.
We are very much like our mothers, making spaces where spaces refuse to be made, introducing these stories and this history back into the narrative.
Artworks for Freedom is thrilled to be here in Madison at the 4W Summit. It's a perfect match. Artworks for Freedom uses the power of art to fight human trafficking and modern slavery. We do this by using all forms of artistic expression to raise awareness and to inspire action.
The nature in human trafficking, the complex causes that create the vulnerabilities, are deeply involved in the way we look at the world, the way we look at men's and women's roles, the way we look at sex. So we're not being asked, when we talk about the war against trafficking, eliminating trafficking in persons, we're not being asked to merely stop a crime. In many instances, we are being asked to fundamentally change the way we look at the world.
By having the exhibits outdoors, it mimics the fact that trafficking is all around us, more or less hidden, because we don't know what to look for.
Because most people, most of your friends, have no idea that the trafficking is in Mendota, you know? The trafficking is in Middleton, the trafficking is in Rockford. It's not just in Bangkok. And until we get that word out, people are going to essentially delude themselves into thinking it's not their problem. because it is their problem.
I'm going to talk a little bit today about what I call navigating the inner and outer challenges on the path to women's well-being.
How can we both empower women to use skills of well-being and resilience to better, more adaptively function in challenging situations, to promote well-being, and at the same time sustain the motivation and conviction to change the world.
Helping women begin to notice what are the ways in which they act in the world that can bring them a sense of nourishment as opposed to a sense of depletion. These skills, as women begin to cultivate them within themselves, will have a rippling effect on their children, on the communities in which they live.
The 2016 summit was a celebration, an intellectual exchange, and a call to action.
What we're hoping that our art projects do is inspire people to take their own creative actions.
It conveyed the promising early impacts of our nascent 4W programs, the joy of this shared work, and the potential for the future.
All things are bound together. All things connect. Their survival and our survival are tied together.
This international conversation about how to integrate our on-campus research with the programs and outreach around the globe in ways that can change lives.
You have to make a commitment. You have to do something somewhere in the world to improve people's lives.
The 4W Women in Wellbeing Initiative is founded on the belief that as an institution of higher education, UW-Madison can, should, and must make life better for women and make the world better for all.